Hello YouTube, SentinalhMC here with another build. So this is a pretty smaller build. It's another Anno build. This is the Eco Wind Park, their tier 1 power generation. So yeah, it's another power plant basically from me. I know I make a lot of those, but I really do love those. They're like one of my favorite things to do. Anyway, let's get started because it's not a very big build, so there's not a lot to talk about. You can see the entire thing in one screen. So I'm just going to go over my process for building this. This is to scale with the city center that I built in Anno. This is a 3x3. So this build is 27 by 27. It's mostly made out of microblocks. Actually, I want to say this thing is entirely microblocks. So if you download this and want to paste it and pull it, if you download this, pull it out with MC Edit or something and want to paste it somewhere, don't rotate it, because if you rotate it, the entire thing is going to look like a Jackson Pollock painting. So anyway, the first thing I did, of course, was to lay out the 27 by 27 square and then start chopping the corners off. And once I got this to an angle that I liked, this corner, I sort of laid everything else out along with that. So this first outer white line came about, and then the inner white line, which I ended up having to lower this outer one because when I took a closer look at the picture, this was sunk right into the ground. Oh, this shouldn't be here. Go away, grass. You're only supposed to be in there. Yeah, this outer area doesn't have any tall grass in the game. Just this inner area has tall grass. I like it. I think it's nice having the grass there. It makes it look more eco-friendly. So after the this first part of the ring was built, or whatever you want, it's not really a ring, but that's what I'm going to call it. I built the base for the actual windmill because the size of the base will determine how much room you have at the back to build the other little doodads. So the base started by deciding the final diameter of the tower here, and since I wanted to be able to have a 1 block space in the middle of it, I knew that it could not get any smaller than this. And then I just extrapolated it out because it has to like get smaller as it goes up. And this might not be tall enough. I had limited pictures. I mean, I took screenshots from the actual game, but this might not be tall enough. And if it's not, I could pretty easily add more and make that tower taller. But I think it looks pretty cute. So this is just a circle, basically. I use, when I'm working with circles that have an even diameter, number of blocks wide, and if I'm working with circles that I want to plan out, I use a online tool called plots, plotz.co.uk. And so that has a program where you can just pop in the width and the height, and you can get any sort of circle or oval or basically any kind of shape, that round shape that you want. There's a bunch of other things you can generate, but I use that. And then I built the legs, and once I had the first legs down, I thought it wasn't wide enough, like there was too much extra space in here, so I raised the whole thing up and I made the legs longer, and I'm really glad I did that because I think it definitely needed it, because otherwise then these legs would have been 1 or 2 blocks less long and it wouldn't have looked good, because this needs to fill up enough space to get the sort of proportions right. Like this big green thing needs to be about the same length as this is wide, and it all sorts of has the right proportions, and that's what I'm happy with about this build, is that the different parts have the proper proportions, so it looks to scale with the game as much as possible. So coming up here, this is actually the last thing that I built, was the top of the tower, because it's the least precise part of it. I basically just had to get the blades to look as close as I could. I knew I couldn't get them to look very, very close, but I think I did a decent job. I think that these tri-blade is at the proper angles to look pretty good. make sure that the green parts are all on the right side, so that if you were to rotate it, it would line up. And then I stuck a rotary craft windmill in here. Rotary craft has quickly become my favorite tech mod, so I really wanted to build this around a rotary craft windmill so that this could actually produce some power. It doesn't produce very much power because a rotary craft windmill only produces, let's say, 4,000 rads at 1 or 2 Nm of torque, so it's not very much power. But you have to have a ton of these, but it's kind of the same as Anno. You have to have a bunch of these to get a lot of power because they only produce like 15. The second, after I built this base, I framed this up, which is, I guess, the generator that converts the rotational motion into the power, which it actually does in this, because I've got a shaft running all the way down here, and it has a bezel in the middle there, bevel gear, and then it comes over there. If I bash this out, I can go inside, and you can see that's what I got. So that windmill up top is rotating the shaft, and it goes through into the thing there. And if I fill that back in, and I've already captured this, so I don't have to fix that. So the ends of these have these nice blue lights in game. It has a lot more blue lights in game, but obviously I'd have to make this thing much bigger to get those lights to scale. But it's still, when I'm building these, I want to evoke the spirit of the Anno design, knowing that I can't get it exact because the scale's not right. So that's my design tenet when I'm doing this. I want it so that if you've played Anno, if you look at this build, you'll be able to instantly say, oh, that's from Anno, that's the Anno Wind Park. That's my goal. And I think I succeeded here because I think it definitely looks like the Wind Park. I don't know what this little thing is. Like, I literally don't know. Like, I have no idea what purpose this little box serves, but I built it using some just random iron micro blocks I had, and pop a little ruby block on top, or I think it's a redstone block, so that it looks, so it's got the red light. This box had more antennas in the game, but obviously can't do that, so you get as close as you can get. This design on here, I'm quite happy with how it came out. It's got this sort of green design. It's got sort of like a darker color in it. Again, it's as close as I can get it to how it looks in Anno. I think it looks pretty close. And then this is a little screen, sort of like a control panel. All it's got on it in game is like a green background with like this big spiky like graph on it. I guess it might be graphing the power fluctuations, but you know, you can't do that in Minecraft, so I just use blue and green. I think these are slime blocks, micro blocks, and got that screen on there, and it comes out like that from the panel, from the generator in the game Anno. And then it connects using these copper tubes over to this, just a smaller version of that, with blue lights on both sides instead of just the one side. And so I'm quite happy with how this came out. I had to make this one wider than I originally did it, because it was off-centered, which is why this ended up on a half block, so I couldn't have the lights be right to the end, so it's not quite how it is in game, but I think, you know, I think it's close enough. Yet sometimes, well, all the time, you have to make some sort of creative decision as to, you know, you have to break with this design in the game a little bit to get it to fit into Minecraft, and that's the sort of compromise I made. I think it still looks good, and it still is what it's supposed to be. This bit here is like this because that's how it is in Anno. I'm not really sure why, but that's how it is. And then, yeah, that's the build. So let me take a look up top here. This little sort of bit on the back, which honestly I just threw blocks on it until it kind of looked like it does in Anno. This thing up here is really detailed in game, but I can't do that at this scale, so I got it as close as I could. I think it's kind of designed to look like an insect in the game, or like a butterfly or something. It's got these sort of slopey wing bits and this tail bit that comes off the end and sort of curves together but leaves a gap in the middle. So I got it as close as I could. I think it kind of evokes, it evokes the spirit. It's like a chibi version, I guess you could say, of how it is in Anno. So yeah, if you wanted to use this to produce power, first you'd have to make sure that this windmill block is at or above Y level 128, because that's where these produce optimum power. Like right now, I stuck a dynamometer to see the power output, and it's not even producing like hardly anything. So at this Y level, which is Y, oh wait, nope, I can't hit F3 because I have my HUD turned off. But at this Y level, it's not producing enough power. Then what you would do is, if you wanted to transmit that into another tech mod's power supply, you would basically just stick a whatever sort of generator from Rotary Craft converts into that power source. So if you wanted to do build craft, you'd stick an air compressor in it. If you wanted to do thermal expansion, which I guess is like the go-to power source now for like everything, like everyone's using that. I remember there was an announcement by the Feed the Beast guys that they're going to be focusing on that as the primary power source for their future tech mods for 1.7. It's not it's the rotary dynamo is what you'd want to put in there. And then you could probably, like, these tubes are not, you can't stick anything in there. It's just a 2x2, but you could bash out the end of this and run your wire out that if you wanted to do that. And I'm probably, you know, doing that. Like, I'm slowly building like everything from Anno. Is my plan to eventually have built everything, and then if I make all the power supply buildings actually produce power of some amount, then I could actually wire them all together on an island and actually have an Anno island. But that's into the future, because, you know, that's going to take a long time. So future videos, I'm going to be coming out with some videos for a couple of new games I've picked up. I don't want to spoil it by telling you what games those will be, but I got 2 of those planned. I'm probably going to do one of them, if not tomorrow, then Friday. Not Thursday, because I've got stuff going on Thursday, but either tomorrow or Friday. So it's either Wednesday after I get back from work, and or Friday is when I'll come out with that one, and then there'll be another one probably sometime next week. So let me know, like, if you're a fan of Anno, let me know what building you want to see next. I've been thinking of doing the Tycoon coal power plant pretty soon. I'm trying to put off the eco worker barracks and housing because they're going to be the hard parts, is making a house that looks like it does in the game, but also you have a usable interior. That's going to be tricky, so I've been putting those off. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this. It's not a very big build, but I think it's got a lot of detail, and it really does look the part that I was going for. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to my future videos. I'm not dead. I've just been actually playing the games. So I'm SentinalH, and I'm signing out.